welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are so excited today to be here. We are talking off-network Christmas movies. That means all the networks aside from Hallmark, that we're talking Netflix, we're talking Lifetime, we're talking Peacock, lots of fun stuff going on. So much fun. And I have a great panel with me today. I'm film critic Rachel Wagner and Caroline is here.
Hey, y'all.
And we have special guest Kristen Maldonado is here. Kristen, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so excited to talk Christmas movies with you guys. You guys are like the prime Christmas like panel.
Yeah, we try. Well, since this is your first time coming on the podcast, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. So I'm Kristen Maldonado. I'm a TV and film critic. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/kmaldo. That's KAYMALDO. I also have a website, popcultureplanet.net, and a podcast that goes along with it where I talk about representation and inclusion in Hollywood. And what else? I'm happy to be here, getting in the Christmas spirit with you guys.
Yes. Would you say that you are a Christmas movie fan?
I am. I think that as the years go by, I get like more and more excited for all like the different like holiday themed months. I'm like, oh, Halloween, I'm ready. Oh, Christmas, like let's do this. Let's see what they're coming out with. And this year I feel like it's more movies than I've ever. I mean, you guys really know, but like before it was like Lifetime and Hallmark, right? And then it was like, okay, Netflix is throwing their hand in the ring. Now it's like BET, VH1, Peacock, Discovery Plus, everybody's got a Christmas movie. Yeah. How do you keep up? Oh my goodness.
It's out of control. And I should remind people that what we're doing this year for the off-network episodes is it's a little more casual than it's been in years past. We're just, not all of us may have seen every single movie. We're just talking about what we've watched. And so it'll be really fun because Lifetime this year, they decided starting on Thanksgiving, they're doing a movie every single day, a new movie.
Oof.
And so there was no way that we could cover that. So we're just going to watch what we can watch. It's going to be great. But we have some really fun movies today to talk about and a very, I think, eclectic mix that are kind of not just sort of the rom-coms. We've got a lot of different stuff going on. And I am excited to talk about them. But let's actually start with Lifetime. We had the Ice Wine Christmas, and this starred Rosalind Sanchez, Lyric Bent. And the summary is, one of Philadelphia's top sommeliers, Camilla, goes home to the magical vineyards of Evergreen, New York, to take part in the town's annual Ice Wine Christmas Festival and Harvest. While there, Camilla spends time with her mother, Sunny, and her sister Beth, who manages the local winery for Camilla's former ice wine mentor, Henry. But Camilla discovers changes are coming as Henry's plans to retire, scaling down the Christmas festival. Beth also recently hired wine specialist Declan, who plans to take the operation to full year production. Believing in the importance of preserving the magic of Christmas in a bottle, Camilla shares with Declan her passion for Christmas and what an authentic ice wine harvest can bring. So, Kristen, what did you think overall of Ice Wine Christmas?
I think they're going to sell a lot of ice wine this year. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it was maybe like a fun, they just came up with something, but that's apparently it's real. It's more expensive than regular wine. And now I kind of want to try it and like see what the, deal is with it. So I thought that was really cool. It kind of introduced me to something I'd never heard of before. And I do enjoy a nice glass of wine. So I was like, all right, I need to try this. I think that Rosalind Sanchez is so natural. Like, I thought that she was really like, I just like connected with her. And I liked that she was kind of like, no, we need to keep the authenticity of Christmas and of this like wine. Like we can't, beat around the bush and try to like do all these things to just make it easier and faster so we have it all the time. And I think sometimes in like, what I've noticed, at least in the Christmas movies, is like the person who's like the stickler like changes how they feel because of the other person. But in this one, she really was like, no, we're keeping this. And that's how you keep the authenticity of ice wine. I was doing research, otherwise it changes to iced wine and it's not the same. And I thought that was cool that she, wanted to keep that, and they figured out another way to, supplement the rest of the production, but like they kept that authentic. So I liked that.
Yeah. What did you think of it, Caroline?
I liked it. Like I thought I was surprised on how I liked it. Like just because of the other wine movie we watched with Hallmark about the sommelier and stuff. I was like, oh, another one with
There've been
Lifetime.
many.
But yeah. But like you said, the ice wine, I never realized there was such thing as ice wine. And so I thought that was interesting. And Rosalind, like she's adorable. I like her. And I haven't seen the guy before. So he was new. But I liked Rosalind. It was a sweet movie.
Yeah. You all are way nicer on this movie than I was.
Tell us your deep, real thoughts, Rachel.
I mean, I think that I just am not, I guess, a wine person. I don't drink wine myself. And just the whole conflict of, are we going to artificially freeze them or naturally freeze them, did not interest me at all. I just was like, I can't get into this conflict. And I call these movies, I call them scientific farmer movies, where there's like, oh, we got to get the perfect poinsettia, we got to get the perfect apple, we got to get the perfect, and now it's like the perfect ice wine. And I tell you, man, if somebody asked me to harvest ice wine grapes on Christmas Day, that would
true. That is true.
It is true.
And it was just too much business. It was just boring to me. I don't know. I like Rosalind. I think she's great, but I didn't think there was that great a chemistry between her and the other guy. And
I do agree with that. And I thought I heard that they had been in multiple projects together.
Yeah.
I thought that's what I had read, but
I was not feeling it. I almost liked the relationship between her and her sister better, and I would have. Yeah. I almost liked that better than the relationship between her and the guy who wants to artificially freeze the grapes.
Yeah. I think that was like a couple of these films had like they were just missing the chemistry with the people. Yeah. Which then it's like, well, isn't that the whole point? It's like you're supposed to be falling in love on Christmas or whatnot. So
yeah, and I just get bored with business talk, and it's just getting too much. I'm like, I'm not invested in this business. Like, I want to know about the relationship. I want to spend time like doing cute activities. Like when they were at the carnival and like, or the festival, or whatever they called it, like there were some fun moments and things like that. But just whenever it got into like, who's going to own the business and we're debating about which way to harvest the wine, not for me. So what would you give this one, Kristen? 1 to 5 crowns?
I think out of all the ones we're going to talk about, this was maybe my least favorite, even though I enjoyed the wine aspect. I would say maybe 2 crowns, maybe 2.5 crowns, 2.5 crowns.
What do you think, Caroline?
I was going to say 2.5 as well. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm going to say 2. So I guess we're not that far apart after all. But there we go. It was an interesting one for them to start on. I wonder why they picked that one for their. But then we had A Picture Perfect Holiday starring Tatiana Lee and Henderson Wade. And it's fashion photographer Gabby Jones is eager to make a name for herself and finally gets her chance when she lands a coveted job at a magazine. Encouraged by an editor to attend the annual Christmas photography retreat in the small town of Pine Falls to ramp up her skills, Gabby reluctantly signs up despite not being a huge fan of the holidays. When she arrives, she learns her rental has been double booked with wildlife photographer Sean, but soon discovers there's more to a photo than what you see through the lens. As the two fall for each other, their life choices start to get in the way, and the two must decide if they're willing to take a risk in order to share the picture perfect holiday together. Well done, summary writer. But Caroline, what did you think of this one?
I liked it better than the Ice Wine movie. Like, she's just so cute. Like Tatiana, like I think we would be friends. Like, she's just so sweet. And I like the photography, like in they're opposite. So I like that aspect of it. And I just thought it was enjoyable. And it was my favorite of the Lifetime movies.
Yeah, this guy's shooting on film. I mean, this is old school. Yeah, the dark room and everything. I haven't seen that in a long time.
how different they were, like working together. I like that. Yeah.
What do you think, Kristen?
I really liked this one. I thought they had great chemistry. I thought this guy was the cutest of all the guys that we had seen, and I loved like you were saying, like when they do cute things, like he was like so gung-ho. He was like, I'm in my Christmas pajamas, I'm making red and green breakfast. Like, I thought he was so cute. And I liked their kind of like two strangers, opposites attract, kind of, you know, forming this bond. I think they were the ones I thought had the most chemistry. Although I will say I thought it ended very abruptly. Like I thought it was kind of like they're like, we're gonna be together, and I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna like see, I don't know,
a year later,
or like even just like, I don't know, something else. Like I just thought it ended like them outside so abrupt. So, but yeah, I liked this one.
Yeah, an epilogue would have been nice. And we kind of joke on the podcast that Hallmark/Lifetime loves photographers. Like it is the most popular profession. There's so many photographers, and I'm not sure why that is a particularly attractive career for Hallmark leading ladies,
like
but
romantic. Oh, we're capturing the moment, the magic of Christmas through photo.
And so, but yeah, this one was fun. It was written by Anna White, who is a really fun writer, and she's actually going to be our guest for our patron watch along coming on Saturday. So if you haven't signed up for the patron, we're going to watch Check Into Christmas, which is super fun. And we're going to get all the behind the scenes details, get to talk to Anna. So any member of the tier, any tier member gets to participate in the watch along if you want to. So check it out. All that information is in the description. But she's great. And I think she does a good job of sort of injecting humor into her stories, and you can do certain things that you really couldn't get away with on Hallmark, like their meet cute with him in the towel. Like you couldn't do that on Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is not Hallmark.
Yeah, but I enjoyed that, and I agree, he was pretty dreamy. Yeah, and I think that's a fun dynamic of the whole we're stuck together in the same, you know, cabin. That's a fun trope.
Yeah, like that one
too.
And they were all he was like always making amazing hot chocolate.
My only nitpick, this is an extreme nitpick, is that I did not like I don't know what the costume designer had against her, because I thought they dressed her so unflatteringly. She's a beautiful woman. Like in the opening scene, she has these pants that are so high up, and just, I don't know. I just thought that they dressed her very weird. And so that's obviously an extreme nitpick, but I don't know. I just kept thinking, why did they have her in these clothes? But maybe it's just me. Maybe I just don't have good fashion sense. But other than that, I really did enjoy it. And so what would you give, Caroline, what would you give it out of 5?
Probably 3.5.
What about you, Kristen?
I think I would give it like a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm like a 4. I think I'm in there. I really did enjoy it. I mean, if the only nitpick I have is the clothes, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey Hallmarkies, it's time to take a quick break to talk about something super fun. How would you like to party with your favorite celebrities from the Christmas and seasonal movies that you love so much? If you enjoy watching romantic dramas on network television and streaming services, you don't want to miss the Rama Drama live event coming soon in 2022. Spend the weekend escaping into the Rama Drama world and meeting your favorite on-screen celebrities like Trevor Donovan, Ryan Pavey, Andrew Walker, Jen Lilly, Wes Brown, Brittany Bristow, Aaron Cahill, Rob Mays, and more. These fan-focused in-person parties cater to movie lovers just like you. Make memories, leave with photos, autographed swag, and an exceptional experience to last a lifetime. Join us in Palm Beach, Florida on January 7th through 9th, 2022 at the Palm Beach Convention Center. You can get more information and your tickets from ramadrama.com. Again, that's ramadrama.com.
Well, we're going to talk about the new film that actually will just post as of the airing of this episode, Princess Switch 3, Romancing the Star. This is something that both Kristen and I had access to thanks to Netflix. What do you think, Kristen, of the previous two? Did you see them, the Princess Switch?
Yes, I love the Princess Switch movies. I think it's so fun because they're so like over the top, you know, where it's like, how many Vanessa Hudgenses are we going to add into this movie? You know, I think it's so fun. And I think for those who know me, I love a good Easter egg. So I love that these movies are part of that whole like Netflix Christmas cinematic universe that they're building. And that there's always like some kind of little reference in there to another movie. And there's one in this one too, which I thought was so fun. And so I just love that. And I was excited for this one.
Yeah, I love the previous two. And Vanessa Hudgens is so hilarious, especially as Fiona's. The second one is definitely my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was, honestly, I would put Vanessa Hudgens as Fiona over Emma Stone as Cruella. I know that's a hot take,
Ooh.
but I thought they're basically the same character, and I think she's so good. And this one's my least favorite of the three for sure. The reason why is because I felt like they all of a sudden tried to go serious for like a good hunk of it with her with this like mother abandonment issues and like with Fiona and her mother, and like all of a sudden it got kind of heavy, and I was just like, that was not what I want out of Princess Switch 3. Like you wanted to keep that like the heist stuff I really liked, but I don't know, I just thought they had some tonal weird moments in this movie.
Yeah, it does seem like every movie now is trying to, like, if it's a person who's sort of like a villain, they're trying to redeem them in some way. So, I get that they were trying to be like, oh, well, she wasn't great, as a person in the last movie. She was a little bit of, did some evil things. So now we're trying to take that back and explain why she's like how she is, which, you don't always need to do that. Sometimes it could just be that like someone's a little, over the top and dramatic, and that was fun too. I did like that they dove deeper into her story. But then after a while, I forgot that the other girls were even there, because it was really only mainly on Fiona, whereas I thought the other ones kind of balanced everyone a little bit more.
That's true.
But one of the things that I do love is that the outfits I thought were great. I thought she had really good costumes. I love that all the love interests are different. Like they're not the same guy or the same type of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Different. It's very diverse, which I really like. And of course the reference to they had Cousin Simon from the Christmas Prince movies. He made a little cameo. Yeah. And so I thought that was really cool. I'm like, oh, the evil cousins coming together.
That's true.
And I like that they actually were playing up how Vanessa Hudgens is Filipino, and they had the younger actress, also a Filipino young actress that played her when they showed like the younger versions of her.
Yeah.
So that was,
and they totally do sort of a friends to lovers storyline with Fiona and Peter, I think his name was. And so that's one of my favorite tropes. I love that. But so I'd give it a 3 for me out of 5.
I would maybe put it the same as I don't know, maybe a 4, the same as Picture Perfect Holiday. Maybe 4.5, because I do think that there's a little bit more history there for me of like, we've learned so much about them already. So maybe a 4.5.
Well, and Caroline, when you see it, you'll have to put on the Twitter what you think.
Is it Will Kemp in it? Like this one, Will Kemp?
Oh yeah. I forgot that. Yeah. Well, Will Kemp, who's one of the Hall stars, he's a friend of the podcast. He plays the villain.
Oh, so, nice. Oh, that's
what's
awesome.
his name? Yeah. And he has a great dance, and he's a professional ballet dancer, and before he became an actor. And so the dancing scene I thought was really good with him when they do the tango. So I'm glad you reminded me of that. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast.
From the best-selling author of Hallmark's Heart's Landing series comes a heartwarming story of 4 friends.
These 4 women get a second chance at life, love, and happiness when they convert an aging beach house into a first-class inn and cafe.
Leigh Duncan's brand new Sugar Sand Beach series is the perfect escape for fans of Pamela Kelly, Rachel Hanna, and Debbie Maycomer.
Beginning with The Gift at Sugar Sand Inn, this is sweet women's fiction at its finest.
Escape to Sugar Sand Beach in this complete 5-book series, now available exclusively from Amazon and Kindle Unlimited.
For more information about Leigh, visit her website at leighduncan.com.
That's leighduncan.com.
Let's talk about Home Sweet Home Alone. This on Disney Channel, starring Ellie Kemper, Rob Delaney, Archie Yates, and it's 10-year-old Max is accidentally left at home by himself for the holidays when his family leaves for a vacation to Tokyo and has to take separate flights due to an error in the flight booking. At first, Max revels in getting to do whatever he wants now that he's alone, but soon must defend his house from burglars Pam and Jeff, a couple looking to steal a priceless heirloom from his family. So, Caroline, what is your sort of experience with Home Alone, and what was your overall thoughts about this one?
I love the first two Home Alones. Like, it's just, part of your childhood. Like, I had one of the walkie-talkie that Kevin had, and I would walk around. Boy? Yeah, I would walk around with it and pretend I was Kevin. And so it has a sentimental place. And me and my brothers would try to do the things like he did, and my dad's like, we can't do that. So see, I love those, but the other ones didn't really get it with me. Like, I didn't enjoy them as much, I guess because I got older. But this one, it felt off to me. Like, it wasn't as cute as I would think a Home Alone movie would be. Like, it was just, it went too deep for me.
What do you think, Kristen?
So I actually liked it. I feel like it's been getting a lot of hate, so I kind of went into it thinking like, oh god, what is this gonna be like? But I think the reason that at first I was kind of like, what, is because the whole premise starts out with like, they think Max stole something from this family's house. And so I was like, okay, well, so if this kid is a thief and then they're trying to get their thing back, and now he's like basically like putting all these traps for them, like, that's messed up. But then that's like not what the story really is. And I thought that it was actually a lot more heartwarming. I thought that like there was a lot, like they went a little bit far at times with some of the like stunts that they pulled on these people, but I thought that it was actually pretty fun. And I thought that the way that they set up the story made sense, where it was like, this kid's home alone, there's no landlines, we're in 2021, people don't really have landlines anymore, so what's this kid supposed to do? I thought the mom was really great. I thought she was really, really good. And I like that they brought back Buzz McAllister and kind of had him in there, and it kind of brought you back a little bit to those original movies. So I thought it was cute. I think that I had fun with it.
Yeah. So I should start out by saying that the original Home Alone is like a foundation movie for me. It was the first comedy that I ever really loved. I went and saw it when I was almost 10. Every grandkid got to go on a special 10-year trip with my grandparents. And so I went on a trip because my birthday's in January. I went on a Christmas trip with my grandparents, and we went and saw Home Alone. And I just was dying laughing. I thought it was the funniest movie I've ever seen. And I still love it to this day. I still think it's really funny. And I think that it balances the physical slapstick violence with enough heart to make it all work. So I guess I should say that up front. But I tried to be optimistic about this film. I didn't think the trailer was that bad. Like everyone else seemed to think it was terrible. But the thing that just lost me on this movie was making the robbers likable was just such a weird choice, because we're gonna, like, you're making them like they've lost they're gonna lose their home, and so they're trying to make them all sympathetic. And so then when they then proceed to get tortured for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's like not funny, and so it just kind of ruins. You want them to be bad guys. I mean, and literally the robbers in the Wet Bandits in the original are going to kill him, like at a certain point. And so they're bad guys. And so for him to do what he does, it allows you to take that leap and laugh because they're bad guys. And when they're not bad guys, it's just awkward. And so that's where I think that they really missed the mark. It's like, did you understand what people like about Home Alone when you made this movie? You were trying to make it something other than what it is. That's how I felt.
I see what you mean, because I liked those characters, but then when you think about it, it's like, oh, well now, yeah, like you said, like they're being basically like tortured, and it's all a misunderstanding. So it's kind of like not as maybe, I mean, it's funny. It seemed like it went kind of far. maybe I felt that way because it's like, oh, you actually do kind of like these people who are supposedly breaking in for a reason, whereas in the originals, like they were just bad guys. So you're like, yeah, get the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you
Well, and
mean.
the other thing too is that in the original, things are actually pretty hard for Kevin. Like even just little things like buying the toothbrush, when he gets all scared, or like being scared of the furnace, and that endears you to him. It makes you like him. Whereas this, everything was pretty easy. You never got a sense that he was like struggling as far as setting up the traps, or when he's like moving trampolines and doing things like that you're like, could he really do that? And so I think that it was disappointing for me, this one. So I gave it on my blog, I gave it a 3.5 out of 10. But in the world of Hallmarkies, I'd give it, I guess, a 1.5 for me. What would you give it, Caroline?
I was going to do two. Yeah.
And what about you, Kristen?
I think I would probably give it a 3. I think that this is something that, like, as someone who, like, yes, I've seen Home Alone, but it wasn't like a foundation movie for me. I was like watching it and I was thinking, oh, I think kids will find this funny. Like, I think this is like entertaining. I do see what you're saying about like some of it being a little like too far, or like not necessarily having that heart. But I thought overall it was like well done, and I did like Ellie Kemper and the guy that played the husband. So
yeah,
like 3.
Very good. One I wanted to report on real quick is a movie called A Chance for Christmas. This aired at Christmas in July on the Tubi network, but I had just heard about it this week.
I did watch it so that we could talk.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yes,
I didn't think you did.
I watched every movie possible that I could.
Okay, I didn't realize that. Oh, great. Okay. So yeah, this one, it stars Tori Anderson and Mikey Selkin, and it's Christina Chance, a social media influencer, finally lands the opportunity of a lifetime, a shot at a lucrative sponsorship from her dream brand if she can manage 2 million live views of her Christmas bonanza. Butting heads with marketing exec Devin, Christina pushes her family to follow her meticulously crafted script until she realizes that she and Devin are stuck in a time loop, endlessly repeating Christmas Eve. Christina must discover what's truly important in life to escape the loop, and falls in love with Devin in the process. They don't mention that it's a fake family. It's like We're the Millers, like a fake family. So what did you think of this one, Kristen?
I gotta say, I thought it was kind of fun. I think that I like the social media aspect, that like, we're following this influencer who's like, kind of trying to put the best things out into the world that she thinks will do well. And so I found that really fun, but it felt like the message, maybe, I don't know, maybe I took it the wrong way, but towards the end, maybe got a little bit muddled of like, okay, so maybe the whole thing is be selfish, put your fake life out there, and then when you finally reveal the truth, you'll get millions of views. So don't worry, That's kind of what I took away. That's probably not what the real message was, but I thought it was fun. I liked the like journey to finally discovering, like, embracing your true family and your, being with them for the holidays, not just likes and stuff. But she still got the likes and the views anyway, so I don't really know. But I thought it was fun. What'd you think?
Yeah, I did too. I laughed. It was a little mean sometimes for my particular taste in Christmas movies. Like, they were a little mean to each other. I like my Christmas movies to be a little more gentle, I guess, than this. But nevertheless, I still did laugh quite a bit. And I thought they did have actually pretty good chemistry. And I love me a time loop movie. I'm a sucker for a time loop movie. And so I thought that was fun, and how they were able to get all the different. We actually have another time loop movie coming out this holiday season, coming out on Disney Channel.
Oh yes,
with
I saw that
with Christmas Again.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to compare the two. And I love, there's a movie called Christmas Perfection, which is also kind of a time loop movie that I love and adore.
Is that one with the Back to the Future cast members? Is that also a time loop?
Oh yeah, that's also, and Next Stop Christmas. That was kind of going back in time.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
So this one was a fun one. I think if you're looking for something a little outside the box, a little bit creative, I think enjoy it. What would you give it? 1 to 5?
I think I would give it a 3. I think I would give it 3.
I think I'd give it like a 3.5. Well, 'cause I overall I thought it was fun. Okay. Then we had Christmas Time is Here. This is on Peacock, and this is stars Rakia Bernard and Deshraine Williams. And it's Nia is a successful small town real estate agent and has her heart set on closing a big sale on a new resort for her client, Julian. In her hometown of Pine Valley, just in time for Christmas, there's only one hitch. No matter how many properties Nia shows Julian, he keeps coming back to the one resort that isn't for sale, the one belonging to Nia's widower dad, Patrick. Patrick would like to sell the property and retire. It's Nia who cannot let go of memories of an idyllic time in life when her mom was still alive and very much part of the resort. Julian realizes Nia's reluctance to sell the property, but it may not matter. Julian's impatient boss has to come to town and intent on getting the deal done before Christmas. At risk of losing his job, Julian comes up with a magical plan for saving Nia's family resort. That was a mouthful. But Kristen, what did you think of this one overall?
This one, I had a lot of mixed feelings, I think mainly because I kept thinking, am I watching the real version or am I watching an unfinished version? Because there was some weird audio moments, especially towards the second half of the movie, where it sounded like the people, specifically Nia, was being voiced over by someone else, like maybe they lost the audio or something. And so that kind of like took me out of it a couple of times. I think that they had beautiful Christmas decorations. I liked the idea of this one. I just felt like some of it felt like it didn't make sense. Like when I really think about it, I understand why it's called Christmas Time is Here, but also I feel like the time element and the watch were like such a small thing that like I think that this could have been called something else. There's a couple of singing moments in this that I didn't think were that great. So yeah, I was a bit mixed on this one. I wanted to like it, but I felt like there were some things that just like didn't really make sense, or that it kind of felt like an unfinished movie at times.
Yeah. There were definitely some ADR problems in this movie that were a little sloppy. What did you think, Caroline?
Like I wanted to love this movie just because Rukia and Deshaun, or they were together in a Hallmark movie, like, and I love them. I love their couple together in the One Winter movie. So I wanted to love this movie so much, but like it fell flat for me. Like I didn't really like the story, like going like the watch. It felt like it was a small part, like you said, and that the script just didn't feel right to me for them. But I really wanted to love it. But
I wanted to love it. I wanted to love it too, because I also love Rakia and Deshraine have been good together in movies past, like you said, on Hallmark Channel. This is her first lead. I really wanted it to be great, but I can't lie and say that it was great, because it wasn't. I just felt like I am so bored watching these people look for property. Like that is just not interesting to me. I mean, I was just, I just felt like her dad wants to sell the inn, and like she's the only one that's being so like difficult about it, and he could have like a really good life with like, you know, with what they're planning on paying him. And so like I just got frustrated with her as a character, and kind of imposing her will on her dad, and I don't know. And I don't even know if I should say this, but I felt like both of them kind of overacted a lot. Like they were acting almost like they were acting almost like they were in a play as opposed to a movie, and very like big responses to things, and like big. And I know that they're quality actors, so it may have been the directing. I don't know, but it just wasn't good. I was disappointed.
I was surprised too.
Yeah, that was something I noticed too, where I felt like I was like watching them quote unquote act, you know what I mean? And I was like, and I definitely know Rukia is so talented. I think she's in the new season of Yellow Jackets, and oh my God, that show has been incredible so far. And she's been great in that. So I'm like, I don't know what was going on. But
I think, and like just seeing them in the One Winter movies and then watching them in this, like it just like I know they have good chemistry. Like I know they work well together, and that's what took away for me. Just like it just didn't work well. This script.
Those are two high quality, especially considering Hallmark sequels are usually terrible. The second One Winter Weekend, One Winter Proposal.
That's my favorite.
Kristen, that's a good one. Those are two good ones. The third one, disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's too bad. I would give this one. I'm gonna give it a 2, but I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. What would you give it, Kristen?
I think I'm gonna give it a 2 also. There were some cute moments, like I really remember like the popcorn for the holidays with the candy in it and everything. Like there were some cute moments. I just think it just didn't feel like it was finished. And which is disappointing because clearly you have 2 great actors in there. And so to have like audio problems and weird things like that, it's just like,
it felt rushed.
Yeah. What would you give it, Caroline?
I was gonna give it a 2 as well.
Yeah. I feel bad ending on a bummer, but yes. So I think the winner for this is Picture Perfect Holiday. Would you agree?
Yes, I think so.
That was the best one.
Most chemistry, most Christmas activities. I think honestly, they had a lot of Christmas activities in that one.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could go on the photography Christmas retreat.
Yeah. Right, I want that breakfast that guy was making. It's like green eggs or red eggs. How about both? The cute Christmas pajamas. Yeah, that was fun.
Well, thank you so much, Kristen, for coming and talking with us about all these Christmas movies. I know that was a lot of movies to watch, so that was very nice of you.
It was a joy to this world to watch all those Christmas movies. I loved it.
So how can people find you on social media and also your channel?
Yeah, so I'm Kay Maldo everywhere, KayMaldo. I'm mostly on YouTube, but I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, at a 1 at the end. I'm on Instagram. Like I mentioned, I have the popcultureplanet.net site and also Pop Culture Planet, the podcast, where we talk all about representation and inclusion in Hollywood. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, y'all should definitely check it out. And I guess for the rate, there was a lot of inclusion in these movies. So
there definitely was.
Yeah. So Caroline, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MetaCarolineR.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So please check that out. Make sure you also check out the Patreon. We've got that patron watch along coming this Saturday. Please take a look. We sure appreciate it. And we also have the merch store, which has tons of fun festive designs, and we'd appreciate your support there as well. All that information is in the description. And make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews 5 stars. We sure appreciate that. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And thanks so much, everybody. And Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.